Hello and welcome back to another episode where we are playing Foundation, and I have quite a specific goal for this episode. Last episode we were having quite a few problems with citizens leaving the city, and I really thought that was because the housing was taking a while to get built, but it turns out I'm pretty sure I was wrong. And actually, if we fly over and try and find one of our citizens. So we've got Citizen Yasake here, and he's a tailor, and actually his housing is fine. He's perfectly happy with his housing. What he's not happy with is his refined food, and because, citizens need 3 types of refined food. So we already have meat and bread, but we have never had cheese. We're not serving them cheese, and I believe that is the real reason why they are complaining and basically leaving the city in very high numbers. So my very first task for this episode is going to be to build a dairy farm and to create cheese so we can stop the exodus, if at all possible. So we have recently been doing a lot of deforestation over here, as you can see by the fact we still have a lumber camp left over, and it has kind of opened up these rolling hills, and I think these could be pretty perfect for a dairy farm. We've got housing allocations either side, so they should have enough spaces to live when obviously the workers will need to come and work on the farm. And I will also move this lumber camp slightly closer to some other wood cutting areas. There we go, and now we have this nice big open space ready for our dairy farm. We will need to go into the progression menu, I believe, to unlock it, and yep, dairy farming is just here, so I'll go ahead and unlock that. And now if I come down here into build and food production, I can scroll along to our dairy farm and our cheesemaker. So our cheesemaker is a pollutive building, which is where the milk from the dairy farm will be turned into cheese, and this is the dairy farm itself, which will need to have a field painted out for it. So I'm going to go ahead and start building that. There we go, and that's looking nice, so I'll go ahead and build that. Someone would like our wool, and we have quite a lot of it, so I think I'll probably go ahead and accept that trade, and in fact I'll try and bargain with them a bit. And the negotiations succeeded. Oh shoot, we don't even have enough space in our treasury to store that amount, but that's fine. I can take the trade and then I just won't click confirm until we've spent a bit of our money, which we could probably do pretty quickly on the progression panel. I would like to get this wheat farm improvement to try and make our bread production a little bit more efficient. I would like to get the tier 4 decorative so we can have a few more beautification items in our city as well. I will also unlock another village edict or edict, I'm not quite sure how you say it. And we may as well unlock these decorative fences and gateways. And we've just had 3 new immigrants arrive, which is perfect because that means we can get them to come and work at this dairy farm down here and also paint out this field. There we go, and that field is apparently adequately sized, so we will leave that there. And the last thing we need to, well actually not the second last thing we need to build for this production chain is the cheesemaker. So let's go ahead and do that. And that produces 1 cheese in exchange for 2 milk. So I'm hoping that one of these for 2 fields is going to be the right amount. And then I'm going to need to build a granary next to these items in order to store the cheese and the milk. And we will need to wait for a few immigrants to come and work at that granary before we can start storing cheese and milk there. And luckily we've just received 4 citizens, so that's pretty perfect. And the granary's been built, so we'll go ahead and assign the milk and cheese resources here. And I will probably also go ahead and immediately build the granary extension, which I think we'll be wanting at some point. And we're going to need to wait for 6 people to arrive in order to start employing people within our cheesemakers. So I'll keep an eye on immigration and make sure we're picking up everyone we can. And in the meantime, I'll go and start building some of the wheat farm improvements that we're able to do over here now. And it seems like my monks are angry that they can't access their hospitium. And I assume that might be because there are no workers assigned there, so as soon as we get some immigrants in, I will assign them there, I think. Here we go, and we've had 2 immigrants arrive, so let's have them go and work at the monastery in the hospitium. There we go, and one of them at least has gone to work as a hosteler. And one of them has gone to work as a refectorian. Don't really know what that means. Apparently the construction requirements for this cloister were not met, so I might have to have a bit of a go at editing that building. There we go, and I believe that's our cloister as it's meant to be, so let's go ahead and apply those changes. Well, it still says building requirements unfulfilled, but let's go ahead and build it anyway and see what happens. And we've got 4 immigrants this week, that's very good. And we can go and make those people work as cheesemakers to start producing cheese. And after we are producing cheese, we shall sell it at our markets, and then that should allow us to be able to welcome citizens into our village without them all just leaving straight away. And that is what we want. So I'll go ahead and give those additions to our markets. And we're also getting a fair bit of complaint about no access to entertainment. The entertainment we have on offer is essentially this service counter selling berry brew. And I was thinking about building an inn along this kind of high street, so I may go ahead and unlock the inn and also build an extra berry brew service counter as part of that. That means we can unlock the inn lodge on the progression panel here. We may as well get the Tavern Splendor package while we're at it. Alright, let's have a go building that. That ups our taverner capacity by 11. I'm not sure if that will be enough or not, but let's have a go. And I'm starting to see a tiny bit of cheese being sold, which makes me think we might nearly be able to welcome some citizens back. If we promote our cheesemakers, then that will make them more efficient. I may go ahead and pave the roads inside this area as well, just to make it possible for residents to live there. But it doesn't need to be high density at all. And we probably need a few more people working in our monastery. This cloister is still unhappy. I thought this area had now been closed off. Okay, and we're doing a little bit more work on our monastery as well by starting to trade herbs, I suppose. And we can assign a monastic emissary who I believe will go into little mandates for us, a bit like the bailiff does. And these all claim to improve job speed, so I'll go ahead and do that. And they will allow us to either invest in a trade route or welcome novices. I think maybe we want to do this first, so let's welcome the novices in. And our population has hit 300. That's a very cool milestone. And I might use the opportunity to paint out one more dairy farm over here to see if that will help us a bit with our cheese production. we go, we painted out a little crop field, our monastery as well, and we definitely want enough places to store all of our herbs, as we need to accumulate 75. So let's assign more of this to herbs and some of it to vegetables as well. And the monastic kitchen requires a chimney, so we can add that in quite easily. There we go, that construction requirement is now met. And I have now built another bakery, so they should be making a bit more bread. Looks like we have some, but not loads. Okay, and it seems like we are now just about able to cling on to our citizens without them leaving, so I will have a go at promoting a few people as the last thing we do now that we have a lot of money left. Hopefully that doesn't cause them all to leave again. We are still occasionally having a few problems with having enough refined food, although we now are selling it all at least. But for now, I'll leave this episode here, looking over our new dairy fields. Thank you very much for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next episode.